Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday, Father's Day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, although the Brock sign is being overtaken by the Father's Day balloons. How about we do that? Presented by Brock and Parrish. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. You need a roof, you called Parrish. And of course, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. All right, happy Father's Day to all the dads. Hope your day is wonderful. I've already had a pretty full morning. Got up early, already went and worked out, got myself a cold shower. Erica gave me some wonderful Father's Day presents, including this is our annual Father's Day matching shirt. So I don't know if you could see, it's a Taylor Swift theme, Father's Day era, Daddy and Drew's version. So like Taylor Swift Father's Day shirt, and got the matching mug to go with it. There. So Drew's got his as well. So we were on Father's Day. If you're new to the Scone household or to Morning Scone here, Erica gets me and Drew matching shirt, swimsuit outfits for Father's Day. So anyway, got some good stuff. Got a ring light. So I'll have, instead of like a lamp and darkness, I'll have a ring light now. So I'll have professional lighting. Got a really cool Bluetooth speaker. Take that with us when we go to the beach in a couple weeks. Got some cold plunge stuff. Some like packets that you fill up, freeze, so that cold plunge that and go buy bags of ice every day. So good stuff. Hope all the dads get treated wonderfully today. All right, we'll say some good mornings here. Glad to have you aboard. This happened Friday, but I was traveling Friday, and then yesterday we were talking primarily about LSU adding the Devin Sheeran, the transfer pitcher. But the Saints did sign tight end Jesper Horsted. Interesting because, of course, Juwan Johnson hurt his foot, had surgery on his foot. Unknown if he'll be ready for the start of the year. So the Saints need a tight end. The reason I find this most interesting is when you look at Jesper Horsted, and look, he doesn't have like a long distinguished career or anything. He's 27 years old. He was undrafted out of Princeton in 2019, 3 seasons with the Bears, 2 seasons with the Raiders, and now with the Saints. And notably, of course, 2022 with the Raiders, their starting tight end was Foster Moreau. They had Darren Waller as well, but Foster Moreau, and of course, quarterback was Derek Carr. So another former Raider that the Saints have gone and snagged. But again, the other thing that I think is maybe most important here is the thing that I keep saying about the Saints tight end room with Clint Kubiak. We have become accustomed over 15 years to seeing the Saints use athletic pass-catching tight ends. And you know the long list. Go all the way back to Jeremy Shockey. We can go to Jimmy Graham and Kobe Fleener and Ben Watson and Jared Cook and Adam Troutman and on and on and on and on. They keep trying to find these athletic pass-catching tight ends. Well, when you look at Clint Kubiak, he is more of a traditional prototype tight end. 3-point stands attached to the line of scrimmage. Think George Kittle, think Kyle Rudolph. Now they go, you got Foster Moreau, you go get Jesper Horsted. Like, I'm not telling you Jesper Horsted is going to be an awesome player. Played 15 games for the Raiders last year, played in like half their special team snaps. So he's a good special teams player and a third tight end potentially, or a second tight end if you need. But my point continues to remain. What we have programmed ourselves to think the Saints need with a tight end, with even Taysom Hill in that role or Juwan Johnson, that's not what Clint Kubiak wants in a tight end. So at least not historically. So I don't know what kind of role Juwan Johnson would play anyway in this offense. So anyway, just something worth filing away. So we'll see if Jesper Horsted makes the team, if he amounts, or how healthy Juwan Johnson will be. So All right, we'll say some good mornings here. Happy Father's Day again to all the dads who might just be jumping aboard. If you're on YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like and follow the page and all that stuff. We appreciate you for being there. Again, I'll keep reminding our Facebook audience, trialing something for a couple of weeks. I've streamed live to my Facebook page for years now. And long story short is Facebook has changed their whole monetization policy and everything. So I had to put my profile into professional mode where you can go follow my profile and then I can stream from there. So I'm trying it for about 2 weeks to see how it goes. So if you would just do me a solid, if you're seeing the profile for the first time, that's the page. If you're on Facebook, it's the profile picture is me and Erica in New York. So if you'll just follow that page, that would be great. Or that profile. Okay, let's see. Cajun Country, happy Father's Day. Hope you have a day that's special. Thanks for the tip on Florida A&M. I was thinking the overs on both games today. So, my College World Series bets so far have been flawless. I gave you North Carolina and the under in that game, which hit. I gave you Tennessee money line, which by the hardest hit. And then yesterday I had A&M and the under in that game. 5-0 so far in the games I've given you on at the College World Series. So just saying, man, your boy is still riding the heater in college baseball. Maybe I should actually be betting these games. Today, Virginia, Florida State, North Carolina, Tennessee. I definitely like North Carolina on the money line today. North Carolina is plus 130. Again, the biggest problem that Tennessee has is pitching. And I think North Carolina has a deep pitching staff, and I think Tennessee does not. Now, Tennessee can hit, and they can slug their way to a win, but I think North Carolina can hit as well as we saw. They hit 315 as a team. They hit a bunch of bombs, and Tennessee doesn't have that's Tennessee's big bugaboo is they don't have pitching. So I would tell you I like North Carolina. This isn't an emotional play. I like North Carolina to beat Tennessee today. That would be my play in that one. And in the first game, Virginia, Florida State. Boy, can Florida State get off the mat? Would be a really, really big question. That's probably a stay away for me. I would probably go under the 11.5 in Virginia, Florida State. If I was going to make a play, I'd go under 11.5, and I like North Carolina to win. I like North Carolina on the money line. But if you want to play it safe, play the run line with UNC. Let's see. Murder Giraffe. All about sports. Next year, you and Musho should do joint post-game shows. You're for baseball, probably not going to happen. It's just way too hard to coordinate that. So that just candidly, that's probably not going to happen. Glenn LeBlanc, Abner Neal, happy Father's Day. Thank you. Larry, good morning. Drew, good morning. Happy Father's Day. And thanks. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. All right. Bill from 34,000 feet heading to Pasadena. All right. Going to watch the Rose Bowl. Check out the Rose Bowl. Ask Erock decorating or baking. Right now, I think she's getting the house ready. So we are having some family over today. We'll eat some barbecue and we'll swim in the pool and all that sort of stuff. So I think she's just kind of getting the house ready right now. But maybe we might be able to get her over here because it is Father's Day. And I could be like, hey, it's Father's Day. You have to come do Ask Erock. Maybe. Josh Blackman, good morning from Turks and Caicos. Okay. Alex, happy Father's Day. Bullpen's going to be loaded next season. Jason from Huntington Beach, happy Father's Day. Love this shirt. Thank you, man. Jaden Burrow, happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Marcus, happy Father's Day. Wife got me 2 bottles of whiskey, each bottled on the day my 2 kids were born. So, Marcus, I'm curious, are they, did you get is it Blanton's? Because a lot of times they have, well, they do, not a lot of times, they do have the dump date for Blanton's on the bottle. And so a lot of people do collect those for special occasions, anniversaries, birth of children, whatever the case may be. Hang on, I'll show you. Oh, by the way, you'll get to see my new swimsuit. So, por ejemplo, you'll see, I don't know if you'll be able to read this, but it says, this bourbon whiskey dump 10/23/18. Can you see that there? So it has the date that it was dumped from the batch, from the barrel into this bottle. So 10/23/18. So a lot of people would look and say, okay, well, our anniversary was October 23rd of 2018, and boom. So then they would look for that. And so there's a whole Facebook group that, excuse me, that where people put the date they're looking for, and then people trade, Deborah, but great gift. That's a great gift by your wife. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Deborah. Brett DeGrow acquired Heaven Hill Select Stock Brandy Finishing. Wow. Okay. I bet it's a little sweet. You have a little brandy. Little brandy on the finish. Juan, thank you. Happy Father's Day. Example of what a devoted good father is. Thank you. I am lucky to have an amazing dad who gave me that example of how to be a Christian man, husband, father, all that sort of stuff. So I'm blessed. Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, Aunt Sharon. Appreciate that so much. Hope you all do as well. Happy Father's Day to all the family, extended family up in Arkansas. I almost said Arkansas. Old habits die hard. That's programmed in my brain. Into Arkansas. Reagan Lee, morning from the Miami airport. Waiting on a flight head to Cancun. All right. Thank you, Reagan. Appreciate it. Kyle, thank you very much. Timothy, good morning from Florida. Bubba, Peter, happy Father's Day to all the dads. My family just realized the gift is me rewatching 2019 LSU Bama. Yay, me. That's the gift, Clark. That's the gift that keeps on giving all year long. That it is, Edward. That it is. Rex, good morning. Hey, Jesse, good morning. Happy Father's Day. Hope you have a great Father's Day with you. Thanks, Jesse. Same to you and your little ones I see in the picture there. Happy Father's Day to all the dads who are watching. Brad, David, how do you think Elko will do at A&M? Fine. I don't think, like, if you're asking me, do I think he's going to make the playoff and win a national championship? I do not. I think Mike Elko has proven to be a really good defensive coordinator. He was a good defensive coordinator at A&M. And, the real challenge, especially in an SEC that just adds Texas and Oklahoma, is recruiting and maintaining your roster at that level. So, sorry. But I think he'll do fine. Kyle, good morning. Thank you, sir. Same to you. Jesse, is it me or does College World Series have a ton of walk-off wins? Yes. 3 of the first 4 games were walk-off wins, and the other was the one last night. I did not stay up to watch the whole thing with Florida and A&M, the 3-2 game, but it was a 3-2 game where, as I understand it, I didn't see the highlight. I read about it, but A&M apparently robbed a home run to win the game. So, yeah, man. Wendell, Carl, the new jingle is great. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it, man. For those who might be interested, I finally figured this out, how to play the audio here. If you're interested, have not heard it yet, here is the new Parish Construction and Roofing jingle. If you've not heard it yet, here it goes. Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com. Yeah, how about it? So I finally figured out how to get audio on here that's not going to sound overmodulated and terrible. So I'm excited about that. Okay. Coach Nate Green, good morning. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Kelly Presley. Thank you, Jerry G. Happy Father's Day. Christopher. I'm going to go Kegarise. Christopher Kegarise. I'm banking on the last syllable, R-E-I-S, being pronounced Reese. So I'm going Kegarise. Did I nail it, Christopher? Give me a phonetic spelling there at the bottom if you're still here, Christopher. You posted that about 7 minutes ago, but I'm going to go Kegarise. I'm interested if I got it. Kegarise. Christopher Kegarise. Let's see if he posts. Kegris. Oh, so you misspelled it? Or that's just... Kegaris? You still didn't really spell it phonetically right there. It doesn't really help tremendously. Kegris? You'd have to use a hyphen for each syllable. But either way, let's see. So to Christopher's question, more blocking tight ends, probably not a bad idea this year. I agree. I completely agree. Yes, any help in protecting your quarterback would probably be much needed. Janet, glad Drew had a good report with the cardiologist. Thank you, Janet. We did. Easy visit. It was great. Hey, Dad, good morning. Happy Father's Day. There's my dad, the freaking deacon, as Josh Ennis once coined him years and years ago. Best dad in the world. Greatest example of how to be a great dad and husband and father and good Christian man. And I am super, super blessed to have you as a dad and an example. So I love you, Dad. We'll see you later today. Bill, tour of the Rose Bowl is planned. Kezzy boy, we don't need a tight end. Yeah, you do. If nothing else, you need a camp body. If nothing else, you don't have enough bodies at that position. See, that's the thing with Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson is hurt. He's having foot surgery and he's out. So you do need a tight end. You have Foster Moreau. Juwan Johnson's hurt. You signed Dallin Holker, the undrafted free agent out of Pitt. Or no, I'm sorry, to Colorado State. So yeah, you do need a tight end. You need bodies. There you go, Jerry. Ryan Pike. How about the Florida A&M under pick? I mean, I'm not out here trying to do victory laps, nothing. I'm just telling you, and I'm not telling you I know a whole lot. I've had an uncanny run this year in college baseball with the picks we do with Mincy and everything. And so far, my College World Series picks, someone check me if I'm wrong, but are 5-0. Now, I gave you Tennessee on the first day. I gave you North Carolina and the under in that game, both hit. I gave you Tennessee on the money line, which hit by the hardest, but it hit. They needed a miracle in the ninth inning, but it hit. And then yesterday I gave you A&M and the under in that game. So I'm 5-0 right now. So someone just asked the two plays again without looking deep into it at all. I like North Carolina on the money line today to beat Tennessee, and I like the under in the first game, the Virginia-Florida State game. Irfan Sayad Gamorgan. Ryan Pike got under 12.5 today for Florida State. Good for you. I just saw it's at 11.5. You got 12.5. Good for you. I'd still play the under at 11.5. Timothy, thank you, man. Chuck Bro, thank you, Chuck. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Caleb, happy Father's Day. Your thoughts on the new pitcher LSU got from Indiana State? They didn't get a pitcher from Indiana State. They got a bat from Indiana State. Hi. They got pitchers from South Florida, Wofford, and Mount St. Mary's. This is Dad's show. You want to come say hi? No. Oh, you want to come say hi, Dad's show? Okay. Come say hi, Dad's show. Hey, it's Father's Day. You have to come say hi. It's a rule. Hey, it's a rule. He's watching videos of Gordy Rush on YouTube. Gordy. He loves watching Gordy on YouTube now. I have no idea why. Kyle DeVille, finally downtime. The family has been some road warriors. My oldest son taking him to football camps from LSU to Tech, plus starting his high school training. Wow. Well, Kyle, glad you're getting some downtime. Happy Father's Day. Hope it's a great one, man. Hey, buddy Timken, good morning. Thank you, sir. Happy Father's Day to you and all the dads. Blown coverage. New tight end. Has our UDFA not been impressive? Seems we have four in the room. Well, remember, with Juwan Johnson's injury, you're down a body as well. So, Juwan Johnson, foot surgery, he's out. Probably going to miss all the camp. They hope he's ready for the start of the season, but you need a body. So regardless of whether or not Dallin Holker's been impressive, you still need to replace that body while Juwan Johnson's out. Let's see. UNC can't score over 4 runs. Tennessee wins 12-2. Okay. No, that's how to spell it. Kegris. Got it. Kegris. That's phonetic. Got it. Kegris. Okay. So it's two syllables. Kegris. Instead of Kegris. Kegris. Got it. Interesting name. I don't think I've ever seen Kegris before. Gordy's last name is Rush. Gordy Lyndon Rush III. Brett, what's going on? Love the meeting you had with Drew in your office yesterday. So if you go follow my Instagram, well, I guess it would also be on my Facebook story as well. But whenever Drew goes and rides the elevator, I'll usually fire up an Instagram story. And Drew explores darn near every inch of the building at Guarantee. And he does find his way into my office and sits in my chair. And then I'll sit out, in the seat opposite him and pretend like we're having a meeting. So that's what he's referring to. Let's see. Kazzy boy, we need to see Derek Carr run this offense. So much talent wasted with Derek not showing up first half of every game. I agree. And now I don't know that you have so much talent. That's the other side. Like I'm no Derek Carr defender, and everybody knows that. I'm not a hater. I'm just honest. We've got a decade sample size to know what Derek Carr is, and he's got a higher floor but a lower ceiling. That's what I've said since the day they signed him. But the flip side of it is I don't know that you have great talent. I mean, Olave is great, and I think Shaheed has the potential to be a great receiver. Kamara's pushing 30 years old. He's declined the last 3 years. Jamal Williams had one solid year in Detroit on a really good team, came here last year and did nothing. Kendre Miller was injured all last year, I guess could be good. You certainly have not fixed your tight end position. After your first two receivers, I don't know who your third guy is going to be. Your offensive line is in shambles. Like, where's the great, like you're talking about all this talent. Where's the talent wasted? Like, where's your talent? Like, I disagree. I think you've got a terrible offensive line where you only know who two of your starters are, and you're banking on a rookie and Trevor Penning to do something, and then a second-year guy and Nick Saldiveri probably to win a job. And then one of the two starters is Cesar Ruiz. Again, after Olave and Shaheed, who's next? Cedric Wilson? I mean, you don't have a 3-4-5 in your receiver group, and your running backs, your best guy was an elite guy who's 29 and declining. So I'm sorry, man. I don't see the talent on offense. And I think you're better on defense, but you're aging there as well. So I mean, maybe you and I just see it differently, but give me the positive spin on the wastage. There's so much talent on offense. Where's the so much talent on offense? I don't see it. Will Holmes, happy Father's Day. Hope everyone has a great day with family. Peter, 2019 Bama. I forgot how insane the end of that half went. Oh, it was insane, man. When Patrick Queen got the turnover and then Clyde scored on the wheel route and spiked the ball like right in front of the ref was insane. That was stunning. You got to go watch the Whiskey and Wine halftime show with me and Jordy. I think it's on Facebook only, but it exists somewhere, and it's bonkers. That's where Here Comes 60 Straight Up Your Donkey came from. Josh Noel, I've been seeing William Schmidt drop off first-round mock drafts recently. This doesn't mean he can't be offered first-round money in the second. Correct. Ultimately, he's just going to have his number in mind and what it is. And if he gets the number he wants, then he signs. Make defense great again. I was at 2019 Bama. The Crimson Tears during that game were glorious. Jay Reach. Did I miss a commitment yesterday? My apologies, y'all. I missed this yesterday. I don't know how I missed this yesterday, but I missed it. Luke Hayden. Okay. My sincere apologies. I totally missed this yesterday. 91 strikeouts, 78 innings, 3.81 ERA. I guess he was the other pitcher. So I told y'all there were three pitchers and Gavin Killen that were on campus this weekend. I guess Luke Hayden was the other pitcher on campus this weekend. Because it was Zach Wood, the lefty from East Carolina. Devin Sheeran, the righty from Mount St. Mary's. And then I guess now I know who the third one is in Luke Hayden. Forgive me, y'all. Totally missed that yesterday. Was mostly relaxing and playing by the pool yesterday. Totally missed that. My apologies. So to whoever mentioned that earlier, thank you for the heads up. Looks like I got some calls I need to make on that. So I will. Thank you for the heads up. Missed it. Totally missed it yesterday. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, man. Let's see. Chuck, Brad, Kim Drew sing the Paris jingle. We'll work on it, man. Dale, remember when Colin Hurley was the number one quarterback in the country in his class before reclassifying? Was Bryce Underwood number 2? Which is better? Dale, I don't remember that Colin Hurley was the number one quarterback before reclassifying. I'm not saying you're wrong. Again, I'm just not the guy that's totally locked into those rankings and all that sort of stuff. But my feeling on that strongly is, from everything that I've heard and people I trust, Bryce Underwood is like the Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence caliber type guy at this point in his career. So I think that's where all the anticipation and expectation is. Dalton Barnett, good morning. David Bass, what's up from California? With the exception of no LSU, the World Series has been awesome. It's been really entertaining. It has been. Merrick, why are you punishing Drew by making him watch Gordy? I'm not, Merrick. I'm not making him watch Gordy videos. He likes to watch Gordy on the iPad for some reason. So he'll get the iPad, hit the little microphone button, like in the search bar, hit the microphone, say, Gordy Rush, LSU Tigers. And then it's like all these old videos from CST and Gordy speaking to like the New Orleans Quarterbacks Club. I don't know. Drew gets into his little zone where he gets sort of fixated on different people or things. And right now he's fixated on that Gordy on the iPad. No idea why. Kyle, did the Saints win the South this year? No. The Saints are going to go 7-10 and fire Dennis Allen. Merrick Mathern, did Michael Thomas sign with another team? Not that I've seen as of yet, but then again, I just missed the whole thing about the Indiana State pitcher, so maybe I missed something with Michael Thomas yesterday as well. I'll tell you all candidly, man, after we finished yesterday, the show, I went over to Ruckus. I got those, the denim Jordan 1s, took Drew to my work, ran a couple other errands with Drew, came back to the house. I went and worked out, did a cold plunge. I watched a couple of episodes of Lux listing Sydney, got in the pool with Drew, ate some dinner, sat on the patio, smoked a cigar, and watched, the first 3 or 4 innings or so of that Texas A&M game. And so Texas A&M, Florida. And that's that. So no, Michael Thomas hadn't signed with anybody. Kobe Walker, what's going on? Hughes Bowden, thoughts on the new portal pitcher from Indiana State? Yeah, Hughes, again, sorry. That's kind of what I was talking about. I totally missed that yesterday, just very candidly. So I haven't made it. I'm not going to tell you I know anything about, like, I watched a single game of Indiana State this year, so I'm not going to tell you I know anything about him. So normally whenever they pop a commitment like that, I'll make some calls and talk to some people who would know, both independently and around LSU. So let me do that. I'll try to do that. I know it's Father's Day, but I'll try to do that today, see if I can get some info on him. And when we're here tomorrow, I'll have a much better sense. So my apologies on that. I just totally missed it. Which, by the way, is a good opportunity for me. I told you yesterday that I was going to share some news, and I might as well share it today. So this may not be gigantic news, but it's something where I would actually really, really, really appreciate all of your help. So I am not going to do LSU Daily anymore. I am rejoining the Locked On Podcast Network and I'll be hosting Locked On LSU again. So if you're not familiar, Locked On is a podcast network where they host daily podcasts for every team, every NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and most college teams, right? And then they've expanded beyond that. David Block, who is the play-by-play voice of the Jazz, who started Locked On Jazz and then expanded beyond that. He's the guy who founded the whole network. Back in 2018, David approached me about doing Locked On LSU. And I did. I did it from 2018 to 2022, and we grew it into something from zero into essentially, when I left, LSU, Auburn, and Tennessee every week, we would sort of rotate as in the top spot on the college channel. Locked on LSU, Locked on Auburn, Locked on Tennessee. long, complicated story short, I left Locked On in 2022 to start LSU Daily at the request of Guarantee when Guarantee was starting its podcast network. Essentially, it was, hey, we're starting a podcast network. Would you essentially stop doing that podcast and come do the same concept under our umbrella? So I agreed. Naturally, I would. I mean, Guarantee is, I work for Guarantee, and I wanted to see the company thrive. It was disappointing leaving Locked On that I built from like zero to something really good. But I handed it off to Caroline Fenton, who I think many of you know. Caroline went to LSU, and she, for the last several years, has done a midday radio in Nashville. And Caroline just announced she's leaving her radio station in Nashville for another opportunity, which she hasn't yet announced. So I'll let her do that. But in so doing, she also had to leave Locked On LSU, and so it came open again. And they offered me the opportunity to return as the host of Locked On LSU, and I, with the blessing of Guarantee, accepted. So I'm still doing AFR and everything. None of that changes. But starting tomorrow will be the first episode of me back on Locked On LSU, and actually something I'm thinking about doing. So I would love your feedback. So please let me know. The big difference now with Locked On now, as opposed to when I left, is then it was audio only. Now it's audio and video. So there's both YouTube and audio for every episode. So every episode will be new original content. Before, I would take like a lot of interviews and segments and stuff from AFR, kind of package it together and present it as Locked On LSU. This will be a completely original content, 25-minute show every day. Here's where I kind of need your help. I would like your opinions anyway, if you think that this would be a good idea. So, my thought was, Erica goes and bathes Drew every day around 9:30. That's when I'm going to record the episode. I have the option, if I want, to record the episode live on YouTube, on the Locked On LSU YouTube channel every day. So, like, I could do the episode live on YouTube and then strip the audio and have the audio set to publish the next morning. But so, like, for tonight, I was going to record tonight's episode for tomorrow's episode tonight, but I was going to go live on YouTube on the Locked On LSU YouTube channel. I hope this is all making sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Anyway, I was going to go live tonight at like 9:30 to record the episode. So let me know if you think that would be interesting. Like, would you want me to live stream the episode as I record it live every night at 9:30? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Because the other option is I could just record the video and audio, and just set it to publish the next morning. So, like, I'll record Monday's episode on Sunday night, Tuesday's episode on Monday night, so on and so. You get it. So, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that. But most importantly, I would really, really appreciate if you would subscribe. Here, I will drop the here you go. I'm going to drop the Locked On LSU YouTube link in the comments. So if you could, again, and this is one of those things where with Locked On, we don't get, no Locked On host gets paid a salary. It's all a revenue share based on your number of audio downloads and YouTube listens and views and all that sort of stuff. So it would be a tremendous help if you could. I just posted the link for Locked On LSU YouTube. If you could subscribe to the Locked On LSU YouTube channel, set notifications whenever I do post a video. If you could hit the thumbs up, whatever, all that's beneficial. On your favorite podcast app, just subscribe to the podcast as well. That would be super helpful. So anyway, so that's it. That's kind of the new deal. All right, couple of more here. We'll get back to it. Larry Connor, Matt, think the Saints should have tried Penning at left guard instead of right tackle. What do you think? I think you try him at right tackle to see if you can salvage him there, and then you can always kick him inside to play guard. Dalton may have already covered which John Emery's ACL situation. Got to think Zy Alexander should be back by fall as well. So, I will get you an answer. So just very candidly, I was texting with John after his decision to come back. We are going to get him on the show. He's excited to do it. He just said, let me get back and get settled. So I will reach out to John this week and see if we can get him on this week. And I'll ask him how he's coming along. But remember, he tore his ACL in early November against Florida, which means he should be on track for the start of the season. But I'll let him answer that. Betting the under on the Saints win total. Dane, morning, Matt. Happy Father's Day. Same to you, Dane. Hope you had a good checkup. He did, man. Thank you so much. Gulf South, happy Father's Day. We're wrong for not getting excited over these pitching transfers yet. I don't think a single one is from a Power 5 school. We're supposed to believe they can be dominant versus the SEC. I think it's fine to have a healthy wait and see attitude. The thing that I think two things. Number one, I'm looking at projectability and skill set, right? Zach Cohen's a good example here. So Zach Cohen from Wofford, we saw Zach Cohen pitch in the region a lot against LSU, and it's fair that he didn't pitch a single game against Power 5 opponent. It would be different if you're saying, hey, Zach, come in and be LSU's Friday guy. I think what they're asking of Zach Cohen is to say, come in and be an innings eater. Really good changeup, athletic guy, throwing a bunch of innings, rubber arm. Come in and be an innings eater. Okay. If you're asking him to come in and be a dominant Friday night guy, that's different. Because, you're getting Chase Shores back, and the expectation is Chase Shores is going to be your Friday night pitcher. And you've got Cade Anderson, who I think we're all hoping, it looked like late in the season he maybe took that step. So Shores, Anderson, I expect to hold two spots in the rotation. Griffin Herring could be in the rotation. Devin Sheeran, who they got from Mount St. Mary's, remember, he just finished his freshman season. So he's got 2 years. So he's 98 from the right side with a really good slider. But again, you're not asking him to come in and be your Friday night guy this year. He could come in and be middle relief. He could be your closer throwing 98. And then you looked at a midweek guy, and you could look to him in 2026 as maybe a weekend guy, if that's how it plays out. So it would be different if you were looking at all these guys saying, we need you to come in, boom, and immediately be a weekend rotation guy, which I don't think they need that from any of these guys. But what they need is arms, because you're losing a ton of guys, both with eligibility and with the portal. Kevin, what are you willing to do if Kalen DeBoer wins a natty in year one? What do you mean, what am I willing to do? Chance, if there are any free agent names you'd like to see the Saints go after. The one that I've mentioned pretty consistently is David Bakhtiari. I've been mentioning that on AFR for months now. He was, before his injuries in Green Bay, one of the best offensive linemen, left tackles in football. I don't know if he can stay healthy, but you could probably get him a 1-year prove-it deal cheap, and it's a really good insurance policy at left tackle if Taliesin Fuanga isn't ready to be a left tackle as a rookie. Rocky, good morning. Happy Father's Day. Brett, yeah, man, thank you so much. Matt, get T-Bob to guest host Locked On one day a week with you. Maybe. I'm not opposed to that. We'll see. Dane, don't torture me with T-Bob. If you did a live, you'd probably get more action. Brett, count me in. Love it. Thank you all so much, man. Thank you very much. All right, Kyle, appreciate it. Yes to live. Okay, appreciate it. Michael says live. Okay. So the plan is, y'all, I'll fire up the live stream probably about but sometime around 9:30, probably closer to 9:30. Essentially, whenever Erica gets Drew in the bath is when I'll fire up the episode. So plan to be here tonight, not here, but on the Locked On LSU YouTube channel tonight around 9:30. So we'll fire it up. And after a day by the pool, I might have a few cocktails in me. So we'll see how that goes on the first episode back. Let's see, B. Lorky, happy to hear you back with Locked On. I still subscribe to Locked On LSU. Haven't listened as much with LSU Daily. Definitely down with the live recording. Thank you, man. Very, very much appreciated. Live show, cool. Adam, totally up for that. Appreciate it. There's the Locked On YouTube. Dylan Hess, a little earlier to have the horsey bottle out. Oh, so no, I'm not drinking it. Someone earlier had mentioned that for Father's Day, his wife had gotten him a couple of bottles of bourbon with their kids' birthdays as the dump date. I mentioned they do. So I was just showing people like on Blanton's, they have the dump date right there. So 10/23/18 is when this was dumped. So a lot of people would go try to search, look for a bottle with that date as significant, a birthday, an anniversary, something like that. Not drinking it yet. Oh, it's Father's Day. I can do whatever I want. At Dane, they secretly love each other. It's a weird bromance. Me and T-Bob, no, we hate each other. I hate T-Bob. I hate T-Bob Bear with unbridled passion. Every day that I have to spend with him, every minute of my life is a minute wasted. And I only do it because they pay us handsomely to sit next to each other. I hate T-Bob Bear. Richard Horner, what's up? Taylor Slay, stuck at work outside in a heat, listening to you, Scone, who's the new baseball pitcher transfer. Yep. So, again, thanks to our audience here who pointed out, because I totally missed it yesterday, that the Saints got a transfer pitcher from Indiana State. So, I could, Luke Hayden is his name, and 6'1", 195. I mean, I can run through some of the stats. 7-2, a 3.81 ERA, 78 innings pitched, 91 strikeouts, 47 walks. The walk number is a little high. But again, what you're seeing for sure is they are reinforcing the staff after you've lost so many. I mean, keep in mind, you're losing Holman, Jump, Hurd to the draft, to your eligibility, Ackenhausen, Helmers, Ulloa is going to be drafted as well. I would assume Lohr is going to be gone as well. And then all the guys have gone to the portal, from Cam Johnson and Sam Dutton and Aiden Moffett, Micah Bucknam. I mean, you've lost a lot of arms, just a lot of depth. So you have to replace those arms. And so that's why, I mean, again, to I think it was Gulf South who asked, am I wrong for being, cautious on the pitchers? No, you're not wrong. But I think you also got to keep in mind, they're not bringing in every one of these guys with the idea of saying, hey, be my Friday night guy. I will continue operating under the assumption that we forget how dominant Chase Shores can be. If he coming back off a TJ throwing 100 again, like, that's your Friday night guy. So if you have Shores, Anderson occupying two of your weekend spots, then all the other names that we've talked about, if it's Herring, if it's Devin Sheeran, if it's Zach Cohen, I mean, if it's Luke Hayden from Indiana State, who, again, I'm going to find out more about him. Like, you have all these guys vying for maybe the final weekend spot, midweek spot. Are they mid relievers? Do they just give you length on the weekend? You have to add arms because you lost a bunch. And so that's what they're certainly replenishing now. And so the option is, do you replenish with freshmen or JUCO pitchers or guys that have pitched in major college baseball? So that's what the portal allows you to do. You're going to lose a lot of guys like that, but it gives you the opportunity to replace them with experienced guys. David, hey, what up, David Steele? Congrats on returning back to Locked On LSU. I say go live too. We all want more content. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Janet. Just subscribed. Appreciate that. Hunter Bam, apparently a coworker of mine went on a date with Musso. They were trying to tell me the story and asked me, have you ever heard of Matt Moscone? That's great. I wonder what, well, I don't want to pry into Musso's personal life. We have a lot of fun on the radio, and he was a very good sport with the Matchler stuff. I mean, we won an award for the Matchler, for God's sakes. And a Louisiana Association of Broadcasters award for the best promotion. Like, that was a really cool thing. But again, it's also like his personal life. And I as much fun as we have on air, I really don't want to like pry into, he can share what he wants to share, sort of thing. So I try to balance that line as best I can. All right. Thank you, Cajun Country. Appreciate that, man. Ryan Slayton watching in Glendale, Montana, just subscribed to Locked On LSU. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it so much, man. Brad David, what week are you going to be off for vacation? So we leave on Thursday, June 27th, and then I'm out Thursday, Friday, then the entire first week of July. But again, Locked On is every day, so I will still be doing Locked On even while I'm gone, especially since we're just starting. I don't want to do like 5 episodes and then be gone for a week and a half. Brad David, oh, sorry, I just read that one. Tanya, already Locked On subscriber. I'll definitely be listening. Thank you. Full disclosure, 9 to 9:30 is past my bedtime, so I'll catch you in the AM. All good, Tanya. Thank you so much. GameCube Gamer. Morning, Matt. Everybody forgets Paul Skeens was not from the SEC. Well, I mean, either was Gage Jump or Thatcher Hurd. I mean, Eric Razelman was a South Florida guy, USF San Francisco, University of San Francisco when he came in. So now, saying Shores is Skeens 2.0, I'd pump the brakes. Like, Chase Shores can throw 100, but I don't think he's going to sit 100 for 7 innings. Like, you got to temper your expectations a little bit there. But Chase Shores is a dominant 6'7" power right arm pitcher. So yes, right-handed pitcher, power right arm, and you know what I mean. Anyway, Justin Thorne, a little behind. Maybe you've corrected yourself. Yes, sorry, we did get yes. My apologies, I did. Carl, opinions on umpire that got disciplined by MLB for gambling on baseball. Candidly, Carl, I saw the story. I glanced over it. I don't know every detail therein, but my general feeling on stuff like that is going to be, I think, overwhelming. Like, can you let one bad apple spoil the whole bunch? I mean, it doesn't mean everybody is bad because one's bad. I mean, it's like anything in life. There are outliers and there are bad people. It doesn't mean everybody associated is bad. So I don't know the extent and the details and the depth of which the umpire was gambling, or was he throwing games? I don't know. But you have to discipline that stuff harshly because you can't allow any inference or assumption of improprieties, man. Kevin, it was check your temperature on the Tide's chances. The DeBoer thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going out on a limb saying Alabama's not going to win a national championship in year 1 under Kalen DeBoer. I mean, their roster got gutted. They lost 40 players, massive turnover. I mean, I think the only time I can remember a first-year head coach winning a national championship was Larry Coker in 2001 when he inherited the great team, the Miami team from Butch Davis, when Butch Davis went to the NFL with the Cleveland Browns, and then Coker's job was just to get out of the way and not screw it up. Other than that, like, do we have an example of a coach in year 1 winning a national championship other than Larry Coker? Bob Stoops did it in his second year at Oklahoma back in 2000. But again, a different era. You weren't talking about a 12-team playoff, a 16-team SEC. Anyway. Like, I'd cut my right arm. I mean, Kevin, in no way am I going to sacrifice a body part on something that I have no control over. But I mean, I don't like, if you gave me Alabama or the field, I would take the field. If you gave me Alabama, Georgia, or the field, I'd still take the field. I just think, look, I mean, Georgia didn't win it last year. And 2 years ago, they were insanely fortunate not to lose the playoff game to Ohio State, where probably should have lost that game. Margin is small, man. So no, I mean, I think if I'm thinking of, okay, and the other thing too is, keep in mind, the top 4 teams will get a bye. I do not anticipate Alabama, even if they get into the 12, that they would be one of the top 4. So they'd have to play an opening round game as well to get to the quarters, and then the semis. Then of course the finals if they were to get there. So I don't see it that way. Let's see. So does the podcast affect Nightcap? Yes, Brett, that's going to affect Nightcap. So Nightcap, in effect, would go away in favor of Locked On LSU. Justin, all good, man. Daryl, what's up? Merrick, I can hear my wife now. Matt is on again. I love it, Merrick. Thank you so much, man. Carl the Cat, good to have you back on Locked On LSU. Thanks, man. Let's see. Got it. Yep. Gulf South, T-Bob made a bet with his audience that if Napier wins the title at Florida, he'll cut off his man sack. So I think that's where the previous question came from. If DeBoer wins the title, there is just no way that I would make that. Now, like, look, I've made a lot of deals and bets and wagers on the air over the years, right? Ocho Cinco owes me one. He's flaking, which really has me bummed. We all know, going back to the loser from Thibodeau, who if I ever see, I'll punch him square in the face and take the $500 right out of his face if I ever see him. But the other part is, like, when I lose a bet, I'll pay up. I mean, Terrio shaved my head live on the air, lost a bet. Like, if I lose a bet, I lose a bet. Cool. I'm good. Good for it. But I would never go. I mean, my manhood? No. Matt graduated with and am friends with Chaz Ramsey's little brother, Chandler. Do you think Chaz's drop on Dorsey was intentional? Yes, of course it was. But they chop blocked him. It was a high low. I mean, of course that was. It was a dirty play. That's a dirty play. I played offensive line, granted, not in the SEC at clearly a high school level, but I believe cut blocking is, I never cut block. I believe cut blocking is dirty. You're going right at someone's knees in the trenches. And sometimes you can't tell if they're engaged high, but it was just a general rule, man. It's almost like an honor among thieves thing, man. You know, I just never went at anybody's knees, ever. I never, ever did. I never cut block anybody. Like, the only thing that would even remotely come close is on, like, field goal PAT, when you cross legs, behind the lineman next to you to interlock to create a smaller gap. Like, you step down, like you step in and down. And, like, that's the closest thing, but mostly everybody's just trying to submarine anyway. So, I mean, anyway. T-Bob said that about Carr being a top 12 quarterback as well. He needs to protect his manhood, man. Kevin, yeah, Coker did. And then he almost won it back-to-back. And then they lost in overtime in a game where they had it won and then lost. Yes, Sonny Dykes at TCU got to the championship game. Yes, Dwayne does owe me $500. Kyle DeVille, does LSU make the 12-team playoff? Kyle, I'm going to say no. Just judging by LSU's recent history with quarterbacks, I'm going to guess like 26, if Nussmeier returns, would be the year. I mean, just look at Mettenberger from 12 to 13, the progression. Look at Burrow, 18 to 19. Look at Jaden, 22 to 23, the progression. So I would think for Nussmeier, if he stays for a fifth year, 25 is solid, 26 is the kaboom. That would be my guess. I certainly think they're capable, but I think you have a team that's going to play a handful of, like, coin flip games. I think USC, Ole Miss, Bama. Florida has the potential to be on the road, but they may be done by that point. Oklahoma has the potential to be a close kind of coin flip game. So I think all those games could be tight, and it's just a matter of, like, how many of them go your way. If you go 3-2 in those games and you go 10-2, then you're in the playoff. If you go 2-3 in those games and you're 9-3, you're not in the playoff. So I really, really, really think for LSU, it comes down to, you have to be undefeated going into the game against Ole Miss. If you're undefeated going into the game against Ole Miss and you beat Ole Miss that first weekend in October in Baton Rouge, then I think LSU's a playoff team, because max, I think they lose the rest of the way as 2. And so if they beat SC, Southern Cal, then win at South Carolina in week 3, I think they beat UCLA and Baton Rouge. But really, it's if you start 4-0 and then you beat Ole Miss in Baton Rouge to go to 5-0, and remember, LSU's coming off a bye at that point as well. You start your first 4 games, you get a bye, then you play Ole Miss because you get 2 byes this year. You're coming off a bye, you're at home. If you beat Ole Miss that day and start 5-0, I think LSU's a playoff team, because I don't think, but if they drop one early, if they lose to SC, if somehow they slip up on the road in an 11 a.m. game against South Carolina. Oh my God, it's raining. That's a bummer. Hey, by the way, it's raining outside. If it's raining at your house and you find out you have roof damage, give us a shout. Parish Construction and Roofing. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, or give us a call at 364-1007, 364-1007, Parish Construction and Roofing. And you know what? For those of you who haven't heard it yet, let's do it.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, Parish Construction and Roofing. Please smash the like button if you would. YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona or follow the profile. Again, we're streaming now on the profile instead of my page. Long story that I've explained several times already. But if you would, on the profile, and I'm sharing it to the page, but go to the profile where it's originated. Please follow that profile. I'd appreciate it greatly. Okay. Let's see. Do you feel the pitching staff is set going into next year? Xander, if they can get Zach Root from East Carolina, then I think they would be set. Make defense great again. They said that both right guard, right tackle are supposed to cut at the right tackle, missed the assignment, went high. Okay. That's fine. That's dirty. Gulf South. T-Bob made a bet this season saying LSU baseball wouldn't finish last in the SEC. He won that. Well, that's... If LSU ever finishes dead last in the SEC, baseball, ooh. I mean, that's grounds for immediate dismissal. Carl the Cat, I think we should go Sopranos on Dwayne. Someone can find him. Kyle DeVille, does LSU beat Bama this year in Death Valley? Kyle, I want to... It's so hard to make that prediction right now. But you should. I am not a believer in Jalen Milroe. And I know I'm seeing all the things with Milroe as, a top 5 quarterback in next year's draft and all this sort of stuff. Jalen Milroe is a great athlete, and he won the LSU game with his legs. But look at what happened against Michigan when he had to throw the ball and beat a team with his arm. With great Bama receivers last year, at times they'd stretch the field and he was good throwing the deep ball, but everything else was a challenge. Like Jaden Daniels threw for more than 1,000 yards more than Jalen Milroe in 2 fewer games. And you lose Isaiah Bond, you lose Amari Niblack. I know they got talent, but Bama has always... this is the point I made with Bama over and again. And I know I do the Bama is burning thing. And just by the nature of me doing it that way, a lot of people are going to discredit my opinion because it's so over the top. But it's radio. It's supposed to be fun. And I'm doing that to entertain my audience. And my audience loves it. And I like doing it. But in a very rational way of explaining it, Alabama for 15 years had either the number 1 or 2 rated recruiting class in the country every year for 15 years. When you go from 1 or 2 to 6 or 7 or 10, you're still elite. You're just not where you were. And so you go into this year losing 40 players from your roster. The great advantage that Nick had forever was that it was just a conveyor belt of 5 stars and high 4 stars. And so when one guy would leave, the next one was there. Well, all of that depth got gutted this year. So I'm not saying they're going to be bad. And yeah, they added some nice transfer pieces, but it's just not going to be the same. And I don't know what they have at receiver. You lost your best guy in Isaiah Bond. I don't believe in Jalen Milroe as a quarterback. It's a good thing for them getting Caden Proctor back at left tackle, but you lose. And it's funny how Bama fans laugh about Seth McLaughlin, their starting center, transferring to Ohio State, because he had a few errant snaps in the Rose Bowl, semifinal game. But that was a guy who's a fifth-year player who'd started for you for 3 years. You're going to tell me you're better off losing a guy with all that experience? Get lost. They undeniably took a step back. They didn't go from like playoff to they're going to go 7-5, but you went from playoff to 9-3. And 9-3 in Tuscaloosa ain't acceptable. And I think that's what they're looking at. The other thing that I'll point out also with Kalen DeBoer, who's a good coach, but remember that Washington team last year? We can pretend like Washington was a dominant team last year. But, Washington, I will give DeBoer a ton of credit because they flat out coached Texas in the Sugar Bowl, flat out coached him, outcoached Sarkisian, flat out coached him. Had a great plan, went out there, executed, and they were really good. But remember, they got a miracle in the Apple Cup to beat a bad Washington State team 24-21. The home game against Oregon, they were getting skunked and got a plum miracle to win that one. I guess my point is I'm not trying to discredit them. They were great. Look, they won close games. But, they were a breath away from being a 10-2, 9-3 team. Really good team, but not a team that's playing in the national championship. So, anyway, that's essentially the point I made. All right. Christian Pristine, I figured it out, Christian. So there is a function on this streaming software where I can upload audio, and instead of playing through my board into the streaming software, I'm playing it directly from the streaming software. So from now on, when I play, so just for example, here's one that's a this is a default one. So I'll just play a song. This is a rock bed. Y'all should hear that fine. So I can start doing this now on my intro if I want, or anything I want to play, or the acoustic cinematic. Anyway, so the point is y'all should be able to hear that all fine now. I've figured out that component of it. Okay. Nobody hates Bama as much as anything. That's true. Playoffs, those close games that he won last year will get him skull drug in the SEC. I agree, but he's also going to have a better roster at Bama than he had at Washington. But it's a tougher deal going week in and week out in the SEC as opposed to in the Pac-12. Justin, subscribed. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, man. And all of the dads in the chat, and thoughts and prayers to those who've lost theirs. Wishing you a day full of happy memories. Amen to that, Justin. Great sentiment. Thank you so much for sharing that, man. I love Bama's burning. It's hilarious. It's why I do it. One of the things, y'all, and maybe this will be a good way to end the show. Gulf South, I know this is due to contract. Brian Kelly won't be on the hot seat from LSU administration for a few more years. The hot seat from the fans is different. Different conversation. But again, I think I crunched the numbers and talked about this. If LSU were to fire Brian Kelly after the season, they'd owe him $68 million. There's no chance, zero chance he gets fired after this year. Zero. Less than zero. And I don't speak in absolutes, but zero. I mean, unless if they had a way to fire him for cause, right? There was some nefarious activity that went on where they could fire him for cause. That would be different, and not have to pay him a buyout. But just straight fire him for performance and have to pay a buyout, no shot. There was something. Oh, yeah, that was it. As far as the Bama is burning. I love doing radio, y'all. I love the medium. I love theater of the mind, and I love that radio can be and is supposed to be fun. And sports are supposed to be fun. That's why I love doing the Bama is burning stuff. That's why I love doing bits sometimes. Because and the thing that bums me out, man, is so much of radio now, talk radio, especially the national shows, it's become like these two-person shows where a lot of times they're split, they're in different locations, and it's point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint, break, point, counterpoint, point, counter, like generic, like generic conversations that don't go into depth and discuss the same thing over and over again. When we come back, Danny Hurley staying at UConn instead of going to the Lakers. So who's next for the Lakers? Was this the right decision? That's next on ESPN Radio. Come back. So Danny Hurley's going to stay at UConn. Was this the right decision? Well, if he were going to go to the Lakers and he have to coach LeBron James, and LeBron's notoriously tough on, like, no media. It's just boring. It's just a boring product. And I mean, I like to have fun. I mean, I remember one time we did a bit with y'all remember the Amit Barber? Like, we had Chris Nakamoto, like, who was the awesome investigative reporter at WBRZ. Chris got involved with us, and we did a bit where, like, Chris Nakamoto was going to investigate the Amit Barber. And so Chris voiced the whole thing like he was voicing a TV news package. And the interviews that he did, we took clips from the barbershop scenes from Coming to America and from Barbershop. And so we took clips from those movies and we used those as like the answers, like the Amit Barber was giving Chris Nakamoto. Like, that's fun. Everybody may not like it, but I'll be damned if you're telling me you're going to find that somewhere else. Like, those things are fun. Bama is Burning is fun. That's why I like doing stuff like that. Yes, we're supposed to inform, but we're also supposed to entertain. And a part of what we do is entertainment. And so I'll never, like, apologize for taking risks to do things that could be fun or funny. So yeah, we make jokes about Musso and 420, and we do the little drops before, each hour, and play the Barbie girl thing, and the kid saying, "You're a loser, Matt." Like, I'm going, "Shut up, kid." Like, ain't nothing wrong ever with having fun on radio. And the day it stops being fun is the day I quit the job and never do it again. Like, hey, my baby. I love you so much. Are you all done? Yeah. Are you all done? Yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, do you want to come say hi to Dad Show real quick? Hey, you want to come say hi to Dad Show? Hey, come sit on my lap and say hi to Dad Show. Come here. Get your booty over here. And then you watch iPad. Come here. Before we're gone. Gone. Anyway, okay, we're done. YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Dude, that's a great point. No bigger miracle than Saban versus Auburn last year. Yes. Hard to believe that happened the way it did. Yes. So margins are slim. And without Nick, what is Bama? Don't know. Okay. It ain't gonna be the same. That much for sure. Okay, y'all, let's get out of here. Again, YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, follow the profile if you would. Again, we're streaming now on the profile, so please follow along there. One more time, I'm going to go ahead and post the Locked On LSU YouTube link in here. If you would, I would be so grateful. Just an abundance of candor. Like, I'm returning to Locked On LSU first day tomorrow, but I'll record my episodes the night before. And what I think we've agreed to is I will do them live on the YouTube channel at night. So tonight I will do a live episode, the first live episode of Locked On LSU, tomorrow's episode live tonight. So I just posted the link again. If you would subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it. Again, in full candor, like, we don't get a salary. We basically have a rev share on the downloads of the podcast and the views on the YouTube, and all the revenue the podcast brings in, we have a rev share. So it would be an amazing help if you would subscribe to the Locked On YouTube channel on whatever your favorite podcast app is. Search Locked On LSU, subscribe there. That would just be an immense help to me, and I would appreciate it greatly. So thank you so much. All right. No, see, that's a good question, Gulf South, and my apologies for this. It's not going to be a Q&A like Nightcap. Correct. And I love that format. And maybe what I'll do is I'll work in, like, so the show is three 8-minute segments. Maybe what I'll do is I'll set a thing to where like I'll do a rapid fire, like the final segment could be on certain days could be a Q&A like that with the questions that log into the chat. And I'm happy to do that. But they have a pretty rigid format that they want to follow. So in any event. Okay. Thanks so much for being there. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Y'all have a great one. And we'll see you tonight for Locked On LSU.